I don't think people realize how much it cost me to spend time with them. Ever since the custody battle for my son, my back has been against the wall financially. I handled my depression with retail therapy, as it gave me a reason to go outside because I had to check the mail. My son was taken from me for 5 months, and I missed important life events due to falsified accusations that were later debunked in court, only to grant me minimal time with him. I was so far behind that I decided I needed to get rid of a bill in order to catch up. What many of you don't know is that I chose to sleep in my car for 10 months this past year. Any help I've received was just enough to keep me treading water. In my life, there's no such thing as unconditional love. I know there are people who care about me, and I've had opportunities and experiences that many haven't. But I've also survived very dark times, and I would trade all those good experiences to eliminate the bad ones. It's hard to accept that you were dealt a bad hand. My saving grace is my strong body. I've never broken a bone, never had a cavity, and I can't recall the last time I really got sick, not even COVID. Sometimes I wonder if I was destined to live this life because I can't imagine choosing it. I've always tried to make the best decisions based on my knowledge and wisdom at the time. I'm mostly self-taught outside of sports. If it wasn't for who I call Mom taking me in as a late teenager, well, when she was a late teenager, when no one else would, there's no telling where I would be. Even then, there were dark times. And I've survived physical abuse for not being good enough at sports and verbal abuse for being a burden. Since birth, I felt like a burden to many. Yet, one of my redeeming qualities is that I have some of the best friends a person could ask for. Lifelong friends who have helped me when I was stressed and gave me an outlet. Because of them, I have confirmation that, despite my deficiencies, I'm a well-rounded and good-hearted individual. The fact that I can look myself in the mirror and smile gives me solace. I don't know why I'm writing all this, but it's been weighing on me. Lately, I've been listening to divine frequencies and praying consistently, as I always have. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, but the darkness always feels so much closer, no matter how close the light seems to get. There's always this looming threat of doom. I've asked the universe and God to take it away. Lately, I feel like God and the universe are the same. I probably shouldn't be talking about this or posting this publicly. It's not my intention to hurt anyone's feelings, but I just want people to understand how expensive my time is because my back is against the wall, and every bit of time I spend not making money presses me tighter against that wall. I have no help and will receive no handouts. There's nothing being passed down to me. There's no inheritance. Nothing. Outside of a few small bills, any help I receive must be paid back. Mistakes aren't tolerated, and some people think I'll never change, still seeing me as the 18 to 21-year-old making poor decisions. I've struggled with superiority complexes. Growing up, I was taught to manipulate people and use my looks to my advantage, to fake it, blend in, and keep up with the Joneses. I was never the smartest, but my wit, intellect, and articulation have always given me a razor's edge in conversations, competitions, and even overcoming my dark times. You see, when my son was born, I made a big change. I stopped selling drugs and robbing my competition. I gave up my connects and exited that game. What bothers me is that the least amount of financial pressure I've had was when I was doing those things. I was dangerously good at it. My record is nearly spotless. I set things up to always be in a safe space if my shadow business crumbled. I had pawns and generals below me who were the faces of my operations. I'm doing my best, but sometimes I flirt with the idea of going back to my old ways. I know I shouldn't. I fear that if I return to my old ways, I'll lose everything. Few get away with what I've gotten away with, but I've never done anything to anyone who didn't have it coming. I've only ever taken from people who weren't in my camp, played the same game, or betrayed me, whether it be family, friend, or associate. For those of you reading this and feeling like you are your own rock, I guess I'm writing this so you know you aren't alone. Us millennials have been dealt a bad hand beyond our past. We've been set up to never own anything and be happy, it seems. I lose interest in this world day after day. It's such a boring simulation. It's like make money until you die or lose sight of what really matters. That seems to be the agenda. I don't know. I'll end this rant for now. I'm on my journey to stability. Peace and love.